Salut!
Hey!
All right.
Welcome back to the Good, the Bad, and the Just Plain Standard podcast, where we provide you with our informed opinions on movies we watched together. We are your hosts,
Adam.
Anouk.
and Yann. Today is all about filth.
Sorry, I had a good sip of a orange and spice. No, was it?
It smells so good, whatever it is.
It's spiced orange and cranberry tea.
Oh, it's
Because
yummy.
we're so hipster, audience.
So hipster.
Sorry,
Okay.
I'll do that again. Starring
James McAvoy, Jamie Bell, Eddie Marson, Imogen Poots, Brian McCarty, Eamon Elliott, Gary Lewis, John Sessions, Shauna McDonald, Jim Broadbent, Joanne Froggatt. I could go on. I mean, there's many amazing people in this.
Yeah.
Shirley Henderson.
Mm.
Anyone else that
With an amazing voice.
with her? Oh, she's adorable. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
You could, if you want, put your headphones on, but, you know.
Oh.
You do if you want. It's just to hear back. I've just noticed that the way I hold my teacup, the audience is going to see me. Hello.
Oh, me too. Wow.
Drink it. I'll drink it that way.
Ah.
These are called our ego mugs.
Yeah. So, filth. Did you... I know I have the book somewhere on the table there. Did you notice the weird structure? The tapeworm thingy?
Well, I remember seeing trailers for this because Filth was kind of the knowing that Filth was coming out was kind of a big deal because everyone's ever since Trainspotting, which we haven't reviewed yet, but we will. Ever since Trainspotting came out, everyone wanted T2. They wanted to know what happened. So it was a big thing when everyone heard that they're making another Irvine Welsh novel. Although to be fair, there had been one. They made Ecstasy, which is another one of Irvine Welsh's one. The film isn't that well received. I personally have not seen it, so I won't pass judgment on it. But I remember it being on Netflix and when it was star ratings on Netflix, it was a lower star. So I'm like, okay, maybe not. But that's probably unfair of me to say. I'll probably will watch it. So this was a big thing. So everyone saw the trailers and it was exciting because James McAvoy perfectly fits the character of. I forgot his name already. His character's name. It's terrible.
Bruce.
Bruce, of course it's Bruce. Hi, Bruce. Yeah, Bruce. So yeah, it was a big thing. Did I notice the tapeworm thing? No, not the first time I saw it. No, I looked up later because everyone's talking. I think they're making a film about. It's from a perspective of tapeworm, which it isn't. There are chapters in the book about from the point of the tapeworm.
Yeah, because it becomes sentient.
Yeah,
Basically, that's apparently the whole. I haven't read the book, but apparently that's. So they decided, I'm guessing, to miss. Oh no!
Well,
no,
I've read-
no,
Well,
no,
you've
no.
seen
I
this,
just
this weird thingy that goes across the pages. That's the actual tapeworm.
I've heard that that's and it kind of spells out eat or something. Oh, we can get
yeah, we
the
have
book.
the book to hand.
That's
While Yann finds
that's
it,
how professional we are. Like
while Yann looks for a page with that on it, I have read Trainspotting, Skag Boys, and Porno, which are the 3 series about the Grenton and so forth.
That's a page. And there's actual discourse in there.
oh, I see. So it's like the shape of a tapeworm.
Yeah.
That's
In a way.
interesting.
And most of the time, it's there's actual words in there, but most of the time during the start, it's mostly letters. Let me find one there. Well, it's not all the way through, evidently.
Irvine Welsh has this style of putting. It's existed ever since Trainspotting, actually. There are chapters in Trainspotting called Junk Dilemmas.
Like this. See?
Oh, it's like in the middle of the.
Yeah, and there's like O's and loads of letters.
So it's like binary.
He's a very experimental writer, Welsh. As I was saying there, in the beginning in Trainspotting, which we have here, there are chapters called Junk Dilemmas. are numbered. So and they're very stylistic. And currently, me and Anouk are listening to the audiobook from Audible, read by a fantastic Dan Bear or something like that. It's Tam something. I'll get it right and I'll put it on the screen, the actual name, because I just butchered it there.
I can find it if you want.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Do that. Maybe I should, because I have it on the phone. It'll tell me. God, this is so well prepared, Adam.
This is why we edit.
We barely edit. Well, the audio we barely edit. Sometimes we take stuff like this out.
Mm-hmm.
I still need to give Yann the time code for the French joke. Tam Dean Byrne is the narrator of Trainspotting, and I believe most of Irvine Welsh's novels, because he's very, very good.
Yeah. But one thing that in the film was Jim Broadbent supposed to be the tapeworm?
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because obviously you have the paintings in the background, but he's dressed up as a doctor.
Well, the first time we see him, he is genuinely a human being. That's the tapeworm. Is the idea is that the tapeworm is like his doctor, almost.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we get the imagery of Jim Broadbent being the tapeworm later on in the film.
Okay. And of course you do have that random image where when he's having a bit of an episode, there's like there's an actual tapeworm, isn't there?
Yeah. Men disguised as like
Yeah.
How do you call that? Yeah, with the tiny thingy in the like tardigrades kind of stuff.
Uh-huh. Yeah, with the teeth and the
Yeah. Okay, so quick plot summary for those who have not seen Filth.
Yeah, and the reminder, it's your month, and I have no notes, so you go wherever you want.
Okay, I keep forgetting that Scottish month is on me. I really should be go. So story goes that Bruce is a detective for the Lothian Police, which is a district area of Edinburgh, and there's a current promotion coming up at work, and he wants the promotion badly. And then the rest of the film is his antics of him trying to solve a recent racially charged murder, which will basically, if he solves this murder, he will get the promotion, essentially. And it's then just the antics of Bruce's life and how they spiral out of control rapidly.
Yeah. I mean, his own mental health basically gets him in the way.
Well, the thing that I vividly remember from the first time watching this is he is unlikable. He is disgraceful as a human being, but the way it's shown in the film is that you like him. I remember the first time watching this liking him, and only as I got older, I think I saw this when I was about 16. Hang on, it came out in 2014, I think, or 13. I didn't see it the year it came out. Whenever it came to Netflix is when I saw it. That might be even later, but
I think
I was still a teenager. I was at the end of my teenage years.
I don't think you like him. I think you pity him.
The first time I remember liking him, but that this will bring us into an interesting conversation me and Anouk actually had last night about Scottish humour in a way. I think a lot of Scottish people will quite like Bruce in this film, to begin with, for sure.
Yeah, he's kind of attitudey and swears a lot, and it's all bleh.
I'll be honest, I know a Bruce. A lot of Scottish people will know a Bruce.
Good eye. Okay.
Good eye. We all have that one mate that is a bit like that. I do. I won't say who it is, because they might listen. I actually have to think about who I think Bruce is, but I have a rough idea. Yeah. Sorry, that's totally referential. It's the same in Trainspotting as well. There's a whole point in Trainspotting that they talk at them. Nobody in their right mind would be friends with Begbie, but it's better to have him as a mate than an enemy.
That's true.
Yeah, he's a special dude. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he likes to manipulate people around him. So that can be quite dangerous because he doesn't have any empathy. So
No, not at all.
it's just kind of really messed up.
Bruce's boss in this is an aspiring screenwriter, right? And at one point you can see him reading the Christopher Vogler Hero's Journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, that's what you would be reading if you were an aspiring screenwriter. Yeah.
They did their homework.
Yeah, they're right. The police, their boss is just great. He's one of the best characters in it. This is the thing as well. It's a very, very good look at police as well, actually.
Especially because there are people like that. Like, they... Ding!
Bing bong.
They, there are loads of people like Bruce who will... You never know if they're actually racist because they'll make jokes and they'll say things, but you never know if it's actually in earnest or not.
Yeah.
So I don't even know after watching that film if he actually is racist, homophobic, misogynistic.
Well, it's the whole thing of it's just a bit of racial banter. I remember that at school. People would say like outrageous things, as you do at school, because people do. And you'd be like, oh, it's just a bit of racial banter. But then you get into the real world and you think, Christ, if I said that to somebody, like, how bad is that? I think that exists in friends group when it's an enclosed group of people. And I think that's the same in any workplace as well, to be fair, which is, there's it's a very lads atmosphere in the whole police department in this film, for sure.
Which is why Amanda, played by Imogen Poots, is hounded.
Oh, yeah.
And she basically gets a job because she has sex with well,
that's what they believe.
But that's what I'm getting to. That and there is no sign that she is sucking someone off to get the job.
No,
like they didn't get any. It was just because she's a young, pretty woman.
Well, that's just the beautiful thing about Irvine Welsh, is that it's so bang on what the protagonist believes, and that's very true in the film too. In the book, because it's all point of views, perspective characters. For example, Trainspotting is the four that you see in the film: Renton, Spud, Sick Boy, and Begbie. You get these four characters' perspective, and there are others scattered throughout. But every chapter is about what they think, and I think that translates very well into this film. This film is absolutely from the mindset, the viewpoint, and the opinion of Bruce throughout. And that's why you kind of like him, because he likes himself in a way. He has to, otherwise, like, why would he function?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. You're not getting an opinion at any point from other people who despise him. You just get to know what is from the inside, what he's living, what he's going through. So yeah, obviously, you sympathize, kind of.
Yeah, you do. As I haven't read it, I don't know. There were a few things that I got confused about. When he's in the supermarket and he's about to get a bottle of wine
at the end of the film,
and he sees Carol, the real Carol, his ex-wife, with a new man who happens to be black. So that can be something that maybe made him racist.
Probably, yeah.
And Stacey, his daughter, and Carol looks really scared.
Yeah, that's
and you just
true.
kind of think, like, what the hell did he do to you?
I don't know if that's explained in the book, because I don't think it would be. It might very well be. I might be just total rubbish there, actually. But I think the argument I would make is because I don't think Bruce sees it as his fault. We might not see it in the book.
Yeah, and I don't think he keeps on saying things like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I think they left me, and I don't know why. Like, he has no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
It's like he blacks out.
Well, clearly he's delusional with his whole antics that he gets up to, which we'll bring up later on, because I don't want to bring that in. That's a good discussion to have later on, and with plot point too. But I want to go to something that I always wonder with, especially with Trainspotting, because I know the fact that Trainspotting is subtitled in a lot of countries around the world. So, Yann, how did you find watching Filth?
Oh wait, I haven't put my watch on.
Get out of it.
There was no sound, but I saw the picture. Well, it was fine actually. I've watched it on. I think it was a few months ago when it was on Netflix. So I don't remember, because I know for Trainspotting they did the standard version and they redubbed in standard kind of, well, less Scottish English, so the rest of the world would actually get anything.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't like shocked, or I understood what was going on.
That's good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anouk, what about you?
What?
Did you understand this? A lot of the Scots go.
Oh yeah. But like I could probably read Trainspotting and be okay. So like, first off, I'm English, so I probably have an advantage. And also I've been here for a while.
That's true.
So yeah. I kind of, and because I read so much and I watch stuff and I'm kind of in the industry, like I'm more likely to see it written, like Scots written. So I didn't even have to think about it. Even because and also Jamie Bell isn't Scottish.
No, not at all. He does a very good accent.
Yeah,
very
it was good.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing about Filth is that it's more. Well, actually, we'll go back to that point. Filth had a very difficult hole to fill because it was always going to be compared to Danny Boyle's Trainspotting, no matter what they did. It was always going to be. Is it as good as this film? Is it not? So this film had a harder job of A, finding an identity, and then B, standing up to the original. I think it did well. I think it very much has its own feel and its own vibe away from Trainspotting, which, as a novel, a separate novel that has barely anything to do with the Trainspotting series, i.e. there are references to characters that appear in Trainspotting, but it's not about them at all. I think it does very well.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, actors, megastars, are always asked what was their favorite role, pretty much. And James McAvoy always goes back to Filth.
I'm not surprised.
When for Split, when he was asked what was this research, how he researched the role, he said, well, he went back to some of the stuff he worked on with Filth.
I can imagine, because there's some really tough stuff that he has to do.
Yeah, well, he's bipolar, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's probably has a few disorders for sure.
Yeah.
Like
an alcoholic is one of them.
Cocaine.
Yeah.
He takes lithium something.
Lithium crystals.
Yeah, which I don't know what that is.
I think that was in a video game called Heavy Rain. The main character did stuff like that. He was like an FBI guy, and it made you like see shit. So I think it's like a hallucinogenic sort of thing.
But it looked prescription. So like it helped with one of his disorders.
Are you talking about the stuff he has on the table, or are you talking about
the tablet?
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about the thing he like just snorts up his nose.
Oh, I thought that was cocaine.
That might be cocaine, but it could easily be another thing that I was thinking of. It's probably not lithium crystals.
It's lithium something. But yeah, so obviously he has a doctor and he goes, and he takes tablets and stuff like. But yeah, no, it's really fucked. Especially because if you think about each thing that he does, because it's through his eyes, it's kind of like played off. It's like you kind of dismiss it as like, oh, that's just Bruce, but he rapes a girl pretty much.
What, in the beginning?
No.
Which bit do you mean?
Like, it's not rape, but it's kind of sexual assault, where what he does with the secretary when she thinks that he's got a bigger penis than he does.
Yeah.
Like in
I would call that fraud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because it's an actual person.
The enlargement thing.
Yeah. And even though it's kind of all sexual and it was like consensual, he lied to her to fucker.
I think it's like catfished, right?
Yeah,
it's a bit in that. It's like in that really weird like
grey
area of like
bait and switch.
If you say
exactly.
you know,
like the Houdini. So it's just a little bit kind of, I don't know.
Surprise!
Yeah, it's like you're actually having sex with my mate.
oh dear.
So yeah, but yeah, you kind of dismiss all of the things. But if you look at them each in like away from everything else, objectively, it's like.
Well, let's go through his flaws then, shall we? Right. So he's a cocaine addict. Mm-hmm. He is systematically putting each other member up for promotion against each other so that he can be the one with the clearest head, which is in itself a crazy thing.
Yeah. I think he probably abused his wife, ex-wife.
And it seems we get that sort of feel. What else does he do? He bullies his only friend, Clifford.
Oh, Blades?
Bladesy, or Clifford Blades.
Poor so sweet. He
what else happens that he's mental about?
Prank calls.
Oh yeah, he's the phantom phone caller for Bunty.
Yeah. Which but then becomes kind of abusive because it's like over and over again, and then they have phone sex.
And then they have actual sex later on.
Yeah, they do.
That has to be one of the saddest scenes I've ever tragic scenes I've ever seen.
Oh, because midway he tells her that
not that bit. The bit when they're on the phone.
Oh God!
Because he's like crying and all that shit, and
he's looking at his ex-wife like on the screen.
Yeah, like Jesus.
And he's pretending to be someone else, and he's crying.
It's just mental the amount of shit that this guy does.
I think the lads call it cranking.
Oh, the other thing is he's cheating. He's having sex with one of his colleagues' wives.
Yes.
Who tries to kill himself?
Yeah. Then he kills himself, and he's trying to frame the metrosexual guy as actually being gay. Oh, that's a big, huge thing. He's like he's bullying other members of the police force while being the union rep.
Yeah, that's very true. And also because he's the one that writes the graffiti but then goes to I can't remember, the detective sergeant, the main
chief
boss.
Chief
Constable, and says he's allowed to be whoever he is in his own private time. But so he kind of plays everyone against each other because obviously he knows that the boss is homophobic.
I mean
and will fire him.
That scene has my favourite line of the whole film. It's like, actually, Chief, they advertise in gay magazines in other parts of the country. This isn't some other part of the country. This is Scotland, by Christ. Which is my favourite line in the entire film, because you just see the over dramatic want of this character wants to be a screenwriter, and you can just see this being a really dramatic line, but it's just so well delivered. It's just excellent.
Especially because I don't know about anyone else, and I'm sure loads of people go through their own bad shit when they're, I don't know, non-conformist, but I think Glasgow is a great place to be gay, especially because it's so happy.
It's very
polite.
It's a very new, modern city, Glasgow. Well, central Glasgow. I don't know what it's like on the towns surrounding Glasgow, which you could say are Glasgow, but they won't say they're from Glasgow. If you ask them where you're from, they'll say Clydebank, or Bishopbriggs or place. They won't say they're from Glasgow. They'll say they're from this place.
That's true.
I don't know how they would feel because I've never lived there. I live in Glasgow, but I feel very much like the city itself is up and coming.
Cumbernauld,
which is good, but not Cumbernauld. Cumbernauld is
Craig Ferguson's birthplace.
I've only ever been to one part of Cumbernauld, which is on the bus you drive through this monstrosity of a shopping centre, which is it looks like a part of a spaceship.
Oh, it's awful.
It looks totally bizarre. It's not It's not great. I wouldn't want to live there.
Well, from the bus, Cumbernauld does not look good at all.
Well, Craig Ferguson is spreading the Cumbernauld hate all over the world.
I don't blame
he hated it. So, yeah,
most people are.
I mean, the UK, right? We had a book out. There's a book in the UK called the country's shitest or worst towns. It's the only ever book that they went, whoa, we've got to make a second one because so many people complained that their town wasn't in it. Right, this is the only country where you'll have an argument going, you think your town's shit? Whoa, you haven't been to mine. It's there's a weird camaraderie to that. Really strange way. No matter where you're from, you'll always go, oh, it's shit. Nobody ever says their place is great. And if you are, you're lying.
Yeah.
I like London.
But get that, well, it's not a small town though.
There's this anecdote, this joke, like they said 2 years ago at ACS, like when you're going to Edinburgh, you have to go through Falkirk, but you're not from Falkirk, you're just passing through. Just don't worry.
Yeah.
It's just
But that's like learning from failure. Because like if you're going from A to B, you might have to go through failure. It doesn't mean that you are a failure. It just means you're passing through.
Well, I'm from Dunfermline, and there's like a rivalry between Dunfermline and Falkirk. In fact, recently, this is true, audience, Dunfermline Athletic Football Club, which is the football team of Dunfermline, played Falkirk, right? Dunfermline has a player who has one eye. And at the end of the match, some Falkirk fans, 'cause I'm not degrading Falkirk, I'm degrading this section of fans from Falkirk threw like plastic eyes onto the football pitch. You know, like these googly sort of eyes that you get for Halloween, like just threw them onto the pitch. I'm like, come on, guys,
that's so sad.
That's so pathetic and so cruel as well.
It's like throwing a banana peel at Dave Chappelle.
Like you would, yeah, or you wouldn't throw like if like Adam Hill's on stage, you wouldn't throw prosthetic legs at him, would you?
Yeah, well,
it's like.
No,
you wouldn't, would you?
Haters.
Like somebody comes on in a wheelchair, like everyone chucks their wheelchairs on the stage. It's like it's just stupid.
Yeah, that's one thing. Bunny said she hated in the questionnaire. She didn't like trolls, but and she specified haters because I love trolls, but not haters.
I love troll too.
I like to troll, like which for me is go into a conversation and make a joke totally irrelevant to the subject. Or do a nice comment, like I did a comment on the Skywalker sound post on Instagram.
Oh, I saw this.
Yeah,
it's the best comment ever.
And yeah, I.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Oh,
we didn't ask you.
Okay, we should probably. Oh,
guest segment. Ooh, guest segment.
So Alexa.
Oh no!
Stop. Yeah, okay. I should probably. I should have fixed that beforehand.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If she comes on again, we could get her. We could get what she thinks.
Turn off,
Okay.
please.
Oh dear. Yeah, there's just so many things wrong with this guy. One of the most messed up thing that I didn't mention is he's so mean to the homeless guy. Like outside the bookie window.
One.
Oh, it's just so many wrong things. Which make it funny because it's so. What else do you do? It's like laughing at a funeral. Like you don't know what to do, so your body like just goes.
Yeah,
that's laughing because you're in such a weird situation.
You can follow it as well because it's gradual, like his gradual demise, basically, and so you can kind of feel like you're going through it with him, and like. And that's probably why you feel sorry for him because it's kind of disorientating and horrible and like it can't be nice.
No,
like, at all. Horrible. Like those animal heads that he keeps on seeing.
Yeah, they make it. Yeah, I don't. That must be part of the whole like overdosing and this going slightly mental.
Yeah, I mean, I know that if you take too much cocaine, it can like mess up your.
I think that's true for any drug, really.
Yeah.
It's not clearly a family-friendly movie. What age did you see this first time?
I must have been about 16. I wasn't young. It was definitely. I was in my later years of high school. I might have been like 6th year, which is about. How old was I in 6th year? I think it was about 3 years ago. At least 16, 17 for sure. Maybe even 18.
I'm glad that I didn't see it when it came out because I would have been young. Oh no, sorry, it was 2000. Was it 2008 or 1998?
No. That's the book. The book came out in like 2005. I think this came out. When did this come out? I should look that up. I'll look it up for you. God's sake! As soon as I run the show, it's like it falls apart.
1999. The book. Yeah, the book.
It's 99, and then the film is probably
2013.
2013. Right.
Oh, okay.
So I was. God, how old was I? I really should know this. How many years ago was that?
It's only 5 years ago.
5 years ago, so I was what? 20.
So it was
17. 17. I didn't see it the first year. I was 18 then, because I think I saw it the year after it came out.
Yeah.
I didn't see it in the cinema. I wasn't old enough because it probably wasn't 18.
Well, it took years because my uncle told me a while back that it was clearly one of the most impressive acting performances in his life. James McAvoy. So I finally ended up seeing it. Now in French, it's called Ordure, by the way.
Okay.
Which is kind of bin trash or the what? Yeah.
Garbage.
Yeah, kind of more than filth, but whatever.
Garbage.
And I finally watched it last year and a few months ago again. It took some time, just like Captain Fantastic, which my uncle also advised me to watch, which I finally did. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. There's also something it does very well, which I admire a film for doing, is like you can't tell what time of what it is, because it's definitely not 2013. It's easily around either 98 or mid 2000s, because nobody has a mobile phone.
Yeah, there are no kind of fancy laptops.
He sends a video package at the end for Bladesy, and all the TVs when you turn on go. Psst.
Yeah, they have the static. Yeah. Oh, good times.
little touches like that. I like. That's very good. Also,
he reads the
teletext for the betting. Yeah, it's on teletext. And also, the big one would be Frank Sidebottom show is on television at a slotted time. So that has to give away what time the film is at.
Because it's just weird.
Oh yeah.
No idea how that got on TV.
What do you guys think of the soundtrack?
I think any soundtrack from an Irvine Welsh book is amazing.
Because I bring this up because the album, we'll talk about this in the Trainspotting episode, but that is a classic, the soundtrack for Trainspotting. So I'm curious what you guys think of the music choices for songs in this one.
I didn't really think about the music.
Yeah, same here.
It kind of like just, maybe because it was so good, it just kind of melted into the whole scene. So I'd have to listen to it and think about it like the music rather than the whole film.
Well, the reason I bring that up is because of the very first song we hear. This is a Christmas movie.
Yeah, it is.
It starts off with "Walking in a Winter Wonderland." It starts off with that. This is a Christmas movie.
It's really not, but
absolutely not. Well, there's a Christmas party in it, but apart from that,
yeah.
That's very true. It's
So
only a Christmas film because it's like based in a time in Christmas time.
God, has anyone had that bad a Christmas?
No.
Do you ever have any Christmases when you were in the Navy, Yann? Just you were on a boat at Christmas?
Oh yeah.
Loads. How were they?
Well, it was fine. Yeah,
Just a normal day.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen worse. It's like I was not involved, but like people that actually had babies that they were not there for the delivery because we were on mission.
Oh wow, gee.
Or even, but they knew, so they were conscious about the fact. But on submarines,
you can't, of course.
You're not, if your mum dies or whatever, something happens, you're not made aware until you're back.
Come back up.
Of course.
That's crazy.
I guess because emotionally you could mess up the mission or whatever. Oh, that's awful.
Did you do submarine stuff?
No.
I was going to ask him, like, how the hell would you function in a submarine? Like, that's, to me, that if you're claustrophobic in any way, that's like the worst.
Don't do it.
I think I could handle being in space, but in danger under the ocean, I don't think I could handle. Like, I'm more scared of what's underneath than what's above.
I can't do either. I felt like this whole thing of like kids wanting to go up in space and everyone being like, oh yeah, I'd love to go up in space. I'm like, no, no way.
Exactly what I said in the track episode. You were not there, so we can elaborate a bit more. That thin layer between complete deep space and us living is just too much. No, that's not for me. No. Won't happen. No.
No. Scares the hell out of me.
You wouldn't be running after Felix Baumgart's record. I think that got broken actually as well. Somebody else did it or something like that. But anyway, he's the most known for, jumping from near enough the highest point of the stratosphere where you can jump from.
No, I won't pay 13,000 euros to get into a Russian jet to go to the limit to 100 kilometers and to feel the space. No.
What do you think? What do you think's more likely? The fact of not average people being able to travel in 0G without having to spend a fortune, or the chance of them making another Dark Materials movie? No, not Dark Material. Dark Universe, sorry. That's Philip Pullman I was thinking about. Because the joke is the fact that Tom Cruise, the Mummy movie, starts with him in 0G. And I reckon that movie was just made so he could have a go in 0G.
Yeah.
Even though Tom Cruise could afford that.
Yeah, I mean, loads of people can afford that. It's not...
And it's funny, the space and the submarine analogy, because in space you've got all the zero that is... You've got some pressure inside the spaceship and nothing outside, so it's like it wants to expand and will kill you. And that's the exact opposite with a submarine. So you've got all that pressure and who wants to just crush you. And yeah, submarine. I was a volunteer up until the point where I realized that you just had to be a volunteer. They had so little, so they didn't have any volunteer, so you just had to be a volunteer and you would go. So I was, finally, no. Like whatever the stuff you've been trained on, you would just go and be retrained or whatever.
Oh my God.
That's mental. That's like when they started the airborne infantry in America. In Band of Brothers, they talk about how it was like, so there's a division of the army where you jump out of an aircraft into battle, and everyone's like, hell no. They're like, it's an extra $50 a month. They're like, yes, I'll do that. I'll volunteer to jump out of a moving aircraft.
Yeah, well, it's not a month, but you've got, every time you do a jump, you've got extra. And you can also do some diving, you get extra. But submarines, as a submariner, you get automatically 3 times as much every month.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, and you can retire way early, because let's say you do a year on board, it counts as 3.
Wow.
And you need 30 or 40 years to actually retire.
So you don't have to do 10 years as opposed to 30 years. Wow. That's mental. That is. It makes total sense, though, because like the idea of putting yourself in that situation and cut off from the rest of the world. Like you could come back up, right? And the whole world is changed and you wouldn't know. And you wouldn't see daylight.
And, yeah. Sure, and well, the only way to is by the you have got the clock and the red light that comes when the dark is supposed to be.
Oh my God!
But there are 2 things that are still not allowed on board submarines, and that's depressing. Well, smoking, but I'm fine. I don't smoke. But the other one, which would be too much for me, no women.
No women.
Can't live without women.
What? Why?
Because they've watched how it happens on board standard ships, and you're not supposed to have sex with your mates, and it happens. On board submarines, it would be just too complicated.
I mean, you couldn't avoid them.
You'd be
changing the torpedoes and going, how are you?
Oh, I just fell on her. I'm sorry. It just didn't. It just happened like that. I wasn't planned.
Yeah, exactly. And also, what if she becomes pregnant? And then you have a baby, like in a submarine.
We need to go up. No, we're not. We're not going to surface. No, you don't understand. We need to.
The first 2 years of that baby's life will be underwater.
Yeah, because you've got two types. You've got the smallest ones without nuclear weapons, which they are doing port of calls often, but there are the big ones, the launchers.
Yeah.
They stay 3 months underwater without getting up. So yeah, that's a bit more. Yeah.
I know that's crazy. So 90 days underwater. Crazy, man. Crazy.
Just can't. It's just. Anyway,
Okay, Filth.
Filth is really good. It's a great film.
Yeah.
Yes, if someone hasn't seen it, like do it now. Like go.
What else I wanted to bring up when I was watching it? I can't remember now. I was enjoying that Navy conversation. This is a problem with our podcast sometimes. Like because we're now a discussion podcast as opposed to a review, we just start talking, and the fact that we just ended up talking about that was more interesting than just like trying to critique this film. I will have some critique though. Because what do you think of this movie? Is this movie a comedy? What do you class this as? A drama? It's a dark comedy drama, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you get laughs. Well, is that the classification depending on what the filmmaker intended? A comedy? I don't know if it's a comedy.
That's a good debate, actually, because, well, look at The Room, right? It was meant to be a Tennessee Williams style drama, but he changed his mind when it started getting cult following as a comedy. It's like, oh, it was always meant to be a comedy. I think I don't know how you choose. I don't think obviously the director should know what style of film they're making, but if it gets received as something else, that's another debate.
Yeah, and I don't think that would be the director's fault.
No, neither do I.
Because sometimes you think of something in a way, and then other people are like, "Nope, no way." So I feel like me watching it was like a black comedy.
Mm.
Well, I've been using for all the previous movies to classify them the stuff that we get on Wikipedia, and on Wikipedia it says it's a British crime comedy drama.
Crime comedy drama.
British. I mean, it is very British because it's quite hard hitting.
So you've got this, and you've got Hot Fuzz.
Well,
isn't it more like satire or
still a crime drama? It's still a crime drama, essentially. Well, police drama.
Yeah, highly comedical.
Yeah,
kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean those. Yeah.
Did you guys have a bet that you thought this was pretty funny?
Yeah.
I quite like the whole boat when he breaks Blades' glasses in Hamburg, and like they're looking at the boat, and James McAvoy, Bruce just goes, "Do you think they put this in a bottle?" It's like, no, don't touch it. And then he like breaks it, and it's like, oh god.
And because he can't see, he puts it like on the floor.
Yeah, he like chucks it on the floor.
It's very well done. It's very well done.
Shout out to Sandstorm, by the way. That made an appearance in this film.
Oh, when he spikes him.
When they go clubbing. Well, they go to a bar and to get some spikes him. Yeah.
Which seems like a gay club.
I think it's just European.
Yeah.
But and we know because we've been clubbing in Germany that there isn't. Well, obviously there are specific places like gay clubs. It's not like Britain where it's like there are specific clubs that are for gay people and straight people won't go.
Even though they do.
Even though they do, because God, it's so messed up here, isn't it? Like, so there'll be gay clubs where girls will go because they don't want to get hassled by guys, but guys will go because they know the girls are going just because they don't want to be hassled by guys. It's a weird, vicious cycle.
Even though I would say that the vibe in a gay club is incredible. It's amazing.
Well, we went to one in London, wasn't we?
Yeah. It's so good, and it's so much better than most straight clubs or whatever that means.
Yeah.
But no. That's also another fucked up thing. Because he spikes his mate and then doesn't help him when he like freaks out because he has too much drugs. Like, that's so dangerous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I actually liked the enlargement bit. That's there is this
trick,
all the third and fourth wave feminists that say that about the male gaze. You're not like, oh, she's pretty, you shouldn't be doing that. But it took me 30 years to realize that there is a very strong female gaze too.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And also, like, there's so much feminism that's just wrong because, like, a man is allowed to tell a woman that she's pretty. I don't see what the problem is. It's only when they're like, oh, you're pretty. That's all I care about. That's when it becomes a problem.
There is, about the Me Too, I've just read, there is a movement of 100 French actresses or entertainment women that just did an article in Le Monde denouncing the witch hunt of Me Too. Yeah. And it's quite, that's exactly summarizes where I stand on that subject. And I don't know if we will keep that in the Brave episode, the whole patriarchy thing. It's just when I hear that, I go berserk. So I'm sorry about that, but it just doesn't make sense. And they address that subject also in that article, which I probably need to translate at some point because I've only seen extracts and it's just not enough. And it's very, very, But
I think it's bandied about a lot. Like I don't think it means what it should mean. I think there are other cultures that are actually patriarchal. Like men rule and women do the housework, and obviously we're not that culture. So in a sense, it isn't. But I think what they're saying is that women are kind of told from, baby, toddler onwards, like that they are less than men. That's all that I think women mean when they say patriarchal society, that we're brought up differently, and that's a problem. But I feel like that's kind of the only problem.
I sometimes wonder, is the problem is equality, correct?
Yes, but I think the problem now is that women don't want equality. We want like a comeuppance.
I was going to say, some factions, everyone wants the equality, but some factions don't value it from other people. Like, is there a faction of it that won't accept equality from a man? Like, they want to earn it themselves. Like, it's a whole rabbit hole, because like anything in the world, there isn't one train of thought. Like, no matter what you believe in, like, everyone in reality is a feminist because everyone wants equality for women, right?
Well, it depends. Yeah, but the thing is, it depends on the time in history, because first wave, they wanted the suffragettes, they wanted the right to vote, which is, in my view, vote a scam anyway, so they would better have been off without it, because second wave was about what was second wave about? I don't remember, but patriarchy came with it was a sexual equality, the second wave, I think. Yeah. Third wave came with all the patriarchal stuff, man-hating, pretty much. And the fourth one is all the social media, going full frontal on social media. And, I mean, it's like, patriarchal, it's like rape culture. If we lived in a rape culture, rape would be encouraged, would not be prosecuted, and it's not. It's just it's not allowed. It happens, but if you're found out, you're in for a nice treat in the ass in prison.
Yes, but also no, because there are lots of rape cases that don't get prosecuted because people don't know how to deal with it, and that's one thing that we should probably talk more about. That yes, of course, rape is bad, and everyone knows that from like top to bottom. But the fact is, we still don't know how to talk about it, and we're still victim blaming, and also I think the problem is it's become like just a woman's problem, and it's not. Like, men get raped all the time, so it's not a woman's problem. This is a societal problem. So I think that the problem is that some women have been very man-hating, like completely. I totally agree with that.
People use movements to stick their own agendas.
Yeah, and
people
it's
have throughout history, no matter what, whether it was about crusades or whether it was about the black movement in the 70s to the 90s, no matter what it was, people would use it to put their own agendas.
Yeah, that bullshit thing of like all lives matter. It's like,
oh,
fuck
yeah.
off.
Come on now.
Like we all know that white people's lives matter. It's just that like Black Lives Matter too. I think that's what it then became. Black Lives Matter too.
Yeah.
And that's basically what this should become. It's not, it's not women, woo, women are amazing. It's like women are here too, and we can also be around. Like if you're talking to educated people, they know that immediately. But what sometimes we don't think about is that the world is fucking stupid. Like there are lots of really dumb people in this world.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Who think that I shouldn't be here? Who think Yann shouldn't be in Glasgow because he's not from here? That type of bullshit.
Yeah, because you two are, well, your mum's European, and you because your parents weren't British citizens. They would argue that like you're not. Actually, that's a very good point to talk about in the whole Brexit discussion, the whole immigrant hating thing, right? That was its whole thing. Like there was like the whole camping of everyone that voted leave is like a racist. Many people voted leave because of the bureaucracy of the European Union. I'm going to say this now. I voted to stay, okay, because I'm an actor and I need it made sense to me. Also, I wasn't going that way, so I was remain. But I know people personally that voted leave because of bureaucracy. But then the main thing we remember is everyone's like, get the immigrants out, and you see the footage of all the people like, oh, it's all about the foreigners, and we know this because we did a play about this called Leftover like 2 years ago. And a lot of the monologues, I did a part that was written, basically somebody that got, I played a man who couldn't get any work anymore because all these Europeans were taking my job. It wasn't the fact that I was lazy. No, it was the fact that they were stealing my job. Beside the point. It's just, I don't even know where I was going with this.
Yeah, there's something I don't understand.
Sorry.
Is why I was basically allowed to vote for leave or remain, even though I'm not associated in any way with Scotland or Britain, or it's weird. Just because I'm in Europe, I don't. It was weird.
I don't know how it works. I mean, yeah, I don't know how the voting whole thing works. Like if you're allowed to be here, sometimes you can vote for certain little things. But other things you can't vote for.
I think because it was a referendum.
Oh, they wanted to know your...
That might be why. I don't think you could vote in it. It would be a general election thing.
Yeah.
There's a case of like, there's a law that was put in place that you couldn't just like get a load of students over to vote for you.
Some kind of a European citizen.
Yeah.
But it was a European thing. Yeah, well, because... actually... They respected the referendum because we had a referendum in 2003, I think. We said, no, we're not want to go into Europe. So they waited a few years and they did that in closed doors and we entered anyway.
Oh.
So at least in here, they respected their word.
Oh, wow.
They respected the population's choice. Yeah.
Okay.
We have shifted massively, haven't we?
Well, yes, but also no, because... I know that Irvine Welsh in Filth is basically talking about working class Scottish issues. There's like racially charged, homophobic, misogynistic, all this kind of stuff. And that's kind of where it comes from, that because of social media, now every single person has a voice. And I think we have to understand that most people have no idea what they're fucking talking about.
That's a good point.
And they're coming from a really uneducated background. Not background, that sounded awful. Let's edit that one out. Uneducated stance. They have no idea what they're talking about. So when they're saying like, men this and fuck men and oh, la, 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 and yeah, I'm going to pretend that he raped me so that he can, be penalized for something that he didn't do. That happens all the time. Of course it does.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that we have to listen to them.
Well, the miscarriages of justice have always existed.
Yeah, and words are bandied about. And I kind of agree with Yann. We're not living in a patriarchal society, and in a sense of like, I don't know, maybe somewhere else in the world, which I'm trying to think, Saudi Arabia, which is totally patriarchal. I completely agree.
They just allowed, I think, women drive just like a month ago.
Like just
now.
Now.
Just like
which is hilarious.
Yeah.
I think the problem though is, and Dave Chappelle talks about this in one of his comedy sketches, that just because a law is passed doesn't mean that everyone's okay with it, and they're not, and people aren't taught to not use it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, just like women around the world are still told from like a really young age to not do something. They're not going to do it. It's not about like not allowing women to go into like high professional places. It's because we're taught that we can't and we shouldn't.
And because you don't see it on mainstream media. That was another thing. Like, the representation of women in media is not of representational of what the actual workplace should be.
Yeah, and that's to do with colour as well.
Yeah, that's a multi-issue, yeah.
There's another stance that I'm fully advocating. The author of Lord of the Flies asked countlessly why it was not girls instead of boys. He said, and I've shared that on one post at some point, women, they want equality, equity, but they are far superior to men, and they always have been.
Yeah, I know. So, I know where this is going.
Yeah, so I don't see the point. Well, so it doesn't make sense to try to give male traits to women and that kind of stuff, because it's just we are each our own kind of stuff. And
I hate that so much when films do that. They're like, yeah, let's make like a really male film and just put women in it. And it's like, that's not feminism. That's just bullshit.
Who are we going to call?
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, you can bust ghosts. Like, even in history, they're a bit behind, but they're always there. Napoleon would not have done anything without Josephine, right, next to him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in that sense, you get the male names in history, but there's always the brain, I would say, next to him, or kind of. It's just, I don't know. It's difficult to verbalize, but those new feminism waves are most of the time about man hating. So not equality, but superiority of females.
Yeah, it's like they want, and I feel like people of color do this too. They talk that they're racist themselves because they feel like they have a superiority complex because they've for years and years and years do you know what I mean? Like they've been told that they're less superior. So now whites are less superior, and it's just like whoa, like we're doing this wrong, like this is just wrong.
Fire with fire sort of thing.
Yeah, do not fight fire with fire. It doesn't fucking work.
Well, look at the successful people in history like Gandhi, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I heard Gandhi was an asshole as well. Martin
Luther King, these sort of people that they fought back in a different way.
Yeah, like, and were killed very quickly. Have
a better impact historically, you know. Like, even Dave Chappelle talks about it. He's like, I really didn't want to be a hero, with the fact that he just left his show because he didn't want to become what they wanted him to be. And he's like, I suffered for that. It's like, maybe I shouldn't. I was like, but no, you have a more positive impact on people by being like, no, I'm sticking to my guns and doing what I believe.
Yeah, because when he came back, he was even more successful, and he probably is more successful because he did that.
Yeah, the credibility aspect of it, yeah. I had a thought when you were talking about Saudi Arabia. I'm like, somebody should definitely do like a statistical study of how many car accidents there were in Saudi Arabia when women were banned from driving, so that you can blow apart that myth of bad women drivers.
Yeah.
So if they did an assessment of how many accidents there were in Saudi Arabia, road accidents, and so they were all caused by men. So that's a statistical fact that women drivers aren't necessarily bad drivers.
Well, the ones that are pushed forward, like you know those videos that you only see videos with females for those ones. The people trying to park.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes 20 minutes.
Yeah.
We don't see any of the men, so they're definitely. If I
You should try and see me park. I'm fucking terrible.
No, I mean, you know, when you have a trailer.
Yeah.
So it's the whole different ball game to actually park, and if they have videos of me trying to park with one of those,
yeah, like mate,
yeah,
I'm terrible at parking. Like it's the worst thing. I can't put like parallel park. Great, park in a space. Nope, not gonna happen.
No. Yeah, there's a lot of, and I mean, it's the same thing with like that stupid statistic of more and more we see men being like sexually assaulted and raped and all that, and it's like, well, yes, but probably not, because it's probably because men are talking about it. Like, so that's why statistics are usually a little bit wrong, because it's about the big corporations knowing about it. So how are they going to know about it if people don't talk about it? Like, men for a long time wouldn't, if they had been sexually assaulted, they would not talk about it because that's weak. That's weakness.
It's like anything with history. I remember when I studied history. Historically, you never trust one source. You have to go first hand, second hand, third hand, and each has their own. You know, like first hand evidence can be biased because they're living in it. And it's the same with third hand. Third hand evidence can be bad because they weren't there and they've got an agenda. Or second hand, which is from is the rereading of somebody, is an opinion of somebody else was there, right? So their opinion is influenced by the first person, plus they weren't there, so they're picking out facts from other sources, right?
Yeah.
Nobody I know of, unless they really care about an issue, looks at multiple opinions or sources.
No, that's dangerous.
Because nowadays we just live in a world where you can find a justification for whatever you think, regardless of what you think. You will find it somewhere.
The Earth is flat.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Flat Earthers.
No, but yeah, about the female gaze again. There is a video going on, right? So as I said earlier, until I reached 30, I always put women on pedestals. I was just like, I couldn't talk to them. I was just like in trance when I saw one I liked.
Mm-hmm.
And this video, so you have a guy who is, so we got a guy and a girl. They are, so the guy is like Thor, like the god, like in terms of body structure. It's just like incredible. And he goes, so there's a girl filmed, and she's asking all these other girls if they would do a threesome. And they say, well, yeah, why not? And then the host is bringing a nerd friend, and he comes like, yeah, doing all nerdy, crazy stuff. And they're like, well, we can go then. Well, no, actually, I have someone.
Yeah.
Or I have to go. And then you've got, like the rejection matters. You've got crosses like 1, 2, 3. So 5 girls just said no. And then the host girl says, well, I'm a bit cold. Can you give me your jacket, the nerdy guy? And then he removes his his torso underneath. And then you can see a Greek god, basically.
That's perfect.
Yeah, and it takes like no more than 30 seconds to get them to change their no way into yes, of course.
That's terrible. That's so terrible.
Many people are fickle. We all have these qualities. Nobody in the world is the perfect human being.
I mean, if you think about it though as well, like you can't put anyone in a box ever. Like but this is a problem with like history books and history in general. Like it's all written. Who the hell is that?
I'll go and find out.
I don't know. Oh.
It's either Amazon or it might be Christy.
Check if it's still filming.
Yeah, but I don't have my phone with me.
Hello? Okay.
Still filming? Cool.
I don't think she's coming back till tomorrow or something. Anyway, should we get her? It's Friday today.
Why should she come back this week? She should come back Monday for work.
Well, she's in Edinburgh, so she'd probably want to come back and either go to Falkirk or stay. I don't know.
The only thing she'll be here as well.
She is from Falkirk.
Yeah.
The movie is discussing plenty of issues of that sort, so it's fine that we are going in that kind of tangent. It's cool.
I think if any movie makes you think about these sort of things, that's fine to keep in a podcast. Because it's, again, it's a discussion of that's the ultimate point of a film. It's not just a piece of entertainment, it's a thought piece. You know?
Yeah.
And that gives a good credit to the film to be able to get us to go to these sort of places, I think.
Yeah, it makes you it makes you think, for sure.
This is the first one of Scottish Filth that I think is an accurate representation of what Scotland is like. I feel that this is very faithful to what, especially there's a whole thing right now about Scottish police. The guy in charge of the Scottish police is currently suspended for accusations of being a bully, essentially.
And in real life?
In real life, yeah. So the fact that the police department in this film is like just so all over the place, it's very accurate. It's like any workplace, you know, like there's always something happening. I did want to bring up one last point before we sort of wrap into the end because I feel like we're close. So this is a spoiler for the book if you want to read it. So in the book, it turns out that Bruce is the murderer.
Yes, in the book he murders the Japanese kid.
He murders the Japanese kid, so there's an even more racial police aspect to it. Wherein this film, it's a group of people that did the murder. I feel like that's a change, you know, because it's a film and we have to like Bruce even more. So, but I just wonder what you guys thought about that.
That's interesting. Also, I think it's like quite nice that he was a bystander and then he's like transsexual.
I don't know if it's that. This is a bit risky. I think that he does that just to keep his wife closer. He can't stand the fact that he's lost her.
Yeah, of course, but he still cross-dresses.
True. Yes, that's true.
So to other people's eyes, he cross-dresses.
So that's true. Sorry, my mistake.
But obviously, yes, the thought behind it is that he wants to keep his wife as close to him as possible. But that also muddies the water because he's apparently this homophobic, misogynistic guy, but then he cross-dresses.
Yeah, God.
And
complex.
It's like, where does your kind of, what does your thought process go with that? I mean, that's really messed up.
Yeah, it very certainly makes us sympathize more with him that we don't see if it's not him killing. It's just like I've watched before we went to see the ACS class of last year, 12 Angry Men. I've read the teleplay, I've watched the teleplay, and I've watched the movie. And there is one aspect that you don't get in the original text and in the original play. You don't see the victim at any point.
What you do in the film.
In the film, you see like it's just 5 seconds.
It's the court at the beginning of the film, yeah.
So you have that kind of reference point almost. That's interesting.
It makes it more human. Like when they're talking about there's a human life here, like the audience gets like there is actually a human involved.
Yeah, because if they're just talking, you don't have any reference point, so you can kind of forget that it's an actual person that they're. Yeah. Good. That's an interesting idea.
I think I know what episode we'll link 12 Angry Men with, and it will be one of our new shows. The Watch It one, the pilot series. We'll do O.J. Simpson versus the People, and then we'll do 12 Angry Men.
Yes. That is an amazing series. And that O.J. Simpson documentary is really good as well.
We'll have to cover that at some point too.
Yeah.
I must say I've only seen O.J. Simpson in one of the Naked Gun movies.
Yes.
That's the only place I've seen him before. So. The real
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see him in the astronaut one that he did.
Oh, the space one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it rings a bell. Yeah, I don't remember.
Can't remember the name off the top of my head, but
apparently
I know what one you're on about.
He was all right.
So do we have anything else to talk about filth for?
I don't think we do.
No.
Ask the question.
James McAvoy is amazing as always. So, yeah.
Okay. So, Anouk and Yann, was the filth good, bad, or just plain standard?
It was very good.
I'm supposed to ask. I'm supposed to say name, aren't I? Yeah. Anouk.
It was good. It was very good.
Yann.
It was good for 18 plus. If you're 12, probably not. But no, it's still good. But it will lead you to themes. And if you're 12, and you should not be listening to this anyway, because we went a bit dark in there, and deep and far to infinity and beyond.
Yeah.
Good.
I'd say good as well. It's very good. Very good. Okay.
Yeah. So let's say we were
Adam.
Anouk.
and Yann. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Can you even say goodbye here if you
Oh,
want?
yeah. Bye. I didn't even look at this once. Whoops.